Gonna be looking at trying to make spawn systems lazy, uh, which basically means they only should be spawning stuff when the player is somewhat nearby. Um, for starters, this just makes everything feel more fair. Uh, I'm seeing sometimes rats come crashing down from the ceiling, um, which what would you have like a frame or two to react to that? Feels very unfair. Um, and then also it's just wasteful with like resources to be like spawning a bunch of stuff off screen. Um, Also if you like do a great fall down, like are you good if you happen to land in the place where an enemy wasn't, where you couldn't see that an enemy was there like one frame ago because you're falling so fast? No, not really. So, yeah, we're gonna keep track of the player's height because that's gonna be. Oh, here, I should write this down. One, keep track of player height because we're gonna need to know the player's height to know uh if our like spawn origin is close enough to care about spawning stuff. Um, and I'm gonna say spawn platforms based on player height. Then turn off, and I'm gonna say ASB animal spawn. I'll say PSB box if too far from player height. Same for PSB. And then what else? Oh, and then yeah, if there's time, rising death box based on time and player max height. Because I think I don't know, if you don't have like a forcing function, if you don't have something forcing you to go and keep climbing quickly, a lot of this lost. It feels like I don't know, you need that for it to feel like a game. I feel like you need something rushing you, or you're just like platforming forever, and then like dang, your platform controller better be good, where it's just fun to jump around. If you don't have that concept of you know um something pushing you forward. So it's just like kind of an automatic refueling type thing. Anyway, so yeah, maybe one other, I don't know, maybe this is overly optimistic, but then if there's time, start to spawn, add concept of difficulty to platforms, integrate into spawning. So basically what that means is some based on what they can spawn, based on how big they are, based on their geometry, some platforms might be more difficult than others. Um, and since we're keeping track of player height anyway, player height is like progress into the game, right? Into the more and more difficult things. So that player height can basically be a proxy for difficulty. And we can then make the platform spawning system a little bit smarter to only what's it called? Or to spawn harder platforms as you get higher and higher up. Okay. Just as a quick recap, what I did last Saturday, it's the last time I streamed something, was made these wall follow enemies. So just another variety of enemy movement type. I think with these parameters I've set here, it's working pretty well for the most part. I see a few guys are getting off, but yeah, it's really finicky. People can fall off the track basically, and then the logic falls apart. I'm probably gonna fine tune this again on I don't know, another time. I do have, but like in I'm spawning like 3 every second in both of these. In the vast majority of cases, it's able to do what we want it to do for the duration of its like timed life. Um, so it's a it will need some future fixing, but not gonna do that now. And I should just double check my levels in a good state and everything. Not hitting any asserts, not hitting any crashes. Oh yeah, see, there's those guys coming down from the ceiling that I mentioned. I think some degree of that is good, like if you can see it happening above you, but too far up, it just feels unfair and cheap. Also, it's wasteful to be like spawning these particle effects and like doing death logic and stuff. But yeah, everything here seems fine. So I think we're good to progress on to the player height stuff. So I think it should actually be like relatively straightforward to just keep track of height, right? That seems like a dead simple thing. I guess we want our world manager here is probably the best place to, or maybe platform manager. I think, hmm, let's take a look at this world manager. This is mostly turned off, I think. This does have the concept of difficulty, but I think most of these functions are doing nothing. Because this mostly represents um, the Gamedev implementation that has mostly been ripped out, but not entirely. But yeah, let's rip as much. Let's get this cleaned up here. Um, this platform spawning stuff doesn't happen anymore. Wind is the only thing I'm gonna leave alone because I haven't moved that. I haven't like basically redone that yet for a more forward-looking thing. I don't know that it necessarily needs big changes. Like it's just I think the only thing that needs to change, it needs to spawn its animation at whatever Y is relevant. Um, because like it's just doing a global force effect, so it doesn't really need to get that fancy. It just probably needs to integrate into this like player height stuff to increase or decrease strength or whatever. Anyway, yeah, we're just ripping out all this code pretty much except for wind, and wind even we're gonna comment out. Okay, these are game jam notes that I'm also just gonna get rid of. Because if I really want to review them, they're in version control. Do the magic of version control. So this already has a concept of like it's keeping track of time elapsed, which will be useful, I think. It will be propelling the death spawn box, but we also want to keep track of the player's height. I'm pretty sure Animal Manager and Plant Manager here are vestigial from the game jam. Yep, just ripped out. Get out of here. all this, anything that has animal or plant in its name pretty much is getting out of here. And this allow platform action stuff, I think I'm also gonna rip out. Because we're spawning lots of little platforms now, instead of having one main platform that, like, sways and does stuff. Yeah, everything except wind is getting ripped out of here. And really, like, if I have time, I should move wind out of here too. So yeah, it's ticking up a difficulty counter, and that's pretty much it. And it's got like some game state manager stuff that like is listening for when the player hits enter at the very beginning. All right. So, do we have a player? No, and I don't really see a problem with just getting one. You know, a lot of times having game object references like this can be annoying, but because like it can be end to one, and then are you setting it all the time? But in this case, there's just one player, so you point it at the player. That's fine. I kind of want debug text to. Is there debug text? I don't think so. I think I would have to like add some text. Yes, I can do that. But yeah, I don't wanna like be breaking in Visual Studio whenever I wanna like know what these values are. I can just put it behind code guards, so it's only drawing in Unity Editor or in debug or something. To like, you know, keep the debug text out of the main game. But all right, these are all canvas groups. I'll just make a new canvas group. I guess I have to create empty. I don't think there's a debug group. Canvas group. Yes, all fine. Doesn't block raycast. UI text. So I want to know difficulty timer, or I'm gonna call it debug timer. Everything should have a debug prefix. Yeah, I need to like set it up. I always change off Arial. I hate Arial. And then I think I just usually make it the entire canvas size, and I'll like put it where I want with OSFETs and stuff. And this seems fine to me. So I'm just gonna get the canvas group and then make like assumptions about the order of the children in it, because I think it's easier than setting a bunch of children. And there might be values I want to debug text in the future, and I don't want to have to set up the link on every single one. That's what I was talking about before, like player. All right, there's one player, there will only ever be one player. I can do that once, it's not a pain. But if I were to link directly to the text here instead of the canvas group, it would be a pain whenever I wanted to change this. And let's make a private function here to or set debug text where Well, first in awake, we need to like get our individual pieces of text. Actually, do we? What does that really get me? Nothing? I mean, if there's a small cost to getting the text, then like I'll have to pay it, but only in editor. I don't really see why I would care about that. So get components in children. All right, I need to pass it. And it's not gonna, oh, I already have UI. I was gonna say I need to include UI to get text, but it looks like I already have UI in here. Child text. And then I'll just, 0 is difficulty timer. Or what did I call it? I called it debug timer, but it's fine. Difficulty timer, fine. 1 will be player current height. 2 will be player max height. I wonder if there's anything else I need. I don't think so. I mean, I can add it later. Child text 0 dot text is going to be equal to my difficulty to a string. Anything else? I don't think so. Just call that function. Okay. World manager does not. Oh, I get a. I see. I broke this platform sway thing that I'm not really using anymore. So I'll set it to 3. Okay. Is the compiler happy now? Let's find out. Uh-oh. Oh, I didn't point it to the things. There, now it's pointing to the right things. Okay, 0. Wow, that should be even more noticeable. And also, I'm gonna add some text just in case there's a just in case it's ever unclear in the future. And then let's go change the color of that text. Because it's really hard to see. There we go. Oh, all right, let's double check everything. That additional text works fine. So it's not doing anything to begin with because this has if the game has not begun yet, it doesn't actually do its update. So, oh, that's too big. It's way too big. 48. And it needs probably a shorter word. If time. All right. Is that better? I mean, that's fine, I think. So if I just sit around doing nothing, it'll steadily increase. I mean, this isn't hooked up to anything, but it's at least tracking it properly. Cool. So let's add another thing. Debug player current height. Gonna move it down, what, negative 48? Grab one of these, one of this. I'll copy paste the and this isn't the right value. We need to actually track that now. So let's add a thing for that. Update player height. So we have the player. We're gonna need to track some stuff about it. So I think we want I'm just gonna round or floor or something. I don't want to deal with like a floating point difficulty or floating point height. Okay, if it's discrete, I can just, I don't know. It's simpler to, like, I'm not going to be setting like 34.72 on the platforms anyway. So what's the point? I'm just going to be rounding it all the time effectively. So player current height, player max height, set to -1 is like a known bad initial value. And then on awake, we should probably get an initial to get rid of that known bad. Current height is and player. Actually, this should be on start, not awake, because this might load in before the player. To be clear, awake is the second this particular object loads, whereas start is right before a frame would update, I believe. Like the first frame, the beginning of the first frame you would be active during, which should be the same for all things in the scene. So using start, you can resolve that sort of potential load order issue. Anyway, this is mPlayer.transform.y. It's as simple as that. But mathf round to int. And then the max height is just the current height. And then, dot position. There's actually, this is just my function, right? Or it just needs a mathf max. So whatever's bigger, your current height or your previous max height. And then I can just call that on start. And we also want to call that on update. Probably. Oh, right. And the last bit is we want to see that. And player current height. And player max height. All right. So we pop back over the game. What we expect to see here is 3. Oh, wait. Did I add a third thing? I might have only added 2 things in debug text. Yeah, I did. Let's add another one. But just adding the text, I mean, there's an assumption in the code. So it would have crashed if I didn't add the text, but I don't have to fiddle with the object connections anymore. What's 48 times 96? All right, it goes current then max. Yeah. All right, so we expect to see as we rise that number go up and up. The first number should go up regardless. Oh yeah, see it's dropping down to negative. You know what? Before I go and do the test of this, let's add an outline so this reads a little bit better. Okay. Damage boost. Oh. Worked out that thing. Alright, I mean, oh, I haven't even been looking at this number. But yeah, alright, so we got the first thing ticking up. We got the current is tracking pretty accurately, and if I drop down, current's good, the max is, I mean, like, this is simple stuff I'm doing. I don't necessarily need to mess it to death. It looks good. Oops, didn't mean to restart there, but that's a good check periodically to make sure your reload works. Alright, so I feel like that's the first thing, right? Yes. Bam. Keep track of player height. Done. Next thing. Spawn platforms based on player height. Okay. This platform spawner. Where is it? I forget what it's called. Spawn on destroy? No. Yeah. Animal play platform spawner. That's it. Okay. So this already has a concept of height, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, let me double check that in game. Oh, I need to zoom way in. But yeah, see this white line going up? That is what is already bounding the player's ability to spawn. Or I mean not the player, the platform's ability to spawn. All we need to do is make it so this can't go higher than like a certain amount over the player's max height. Or current height, really. So it's really, I think it could be as simple as this current height, instead of being delta height, being max height, or maxed out on player height. I don't know. Let's see what that looks like at least. I think the world manager is already pointing back to the platform spawner. Or no, platform manager is something else? Okay, so there is no link here. Alright, so I can get it off the world. I don't like having bidirectional links, but there is no existing link here, so it's only one way. Anyway, platform spawner, you will need to be getting something off the world manager. Something I need to do. Yes, I need to connect that. Again, this is an example like the kind of connection I don't really mind. I only have to do it once. I think this is still like a lazy pattern. There probably is some better way that I'm not familiar with. But you know, not the end of the world. All right. So now we have our worlds. We don't have any way to get these private members off it though. So we'll need a getter here. Get layer current height, I guess. Do I want max or current? think current. If it's going to be a limiter, it'd be current. Okay. Let me unpin these. I don't need these anymore. Platform. Let's pin platform spawn in there and world manager. Okay. So here, where we try to add to height, we only do that if my current height is less than player current height. Let's see what that looks like. Because it only has to get to the bottom of a chunk to be allowed to spawn platforms in that chunk. So I don't think there's a problem there. Unless the player starts below the minimum. Is that what happened? Uh-oh. Assertion failure. Never good. What broke? Oh, I fell off before the game had begun because yeah, it's fine. Yeah, see, it never. I gotta let it do at least the first one, no matter what. And maybe this is. Hmm. Maybe I want. I'm trying to think of the height should be allowed to increase based on player max height, but then there's a check that spawning can only actually happen, like this spawn case, uh, if like it's within some threshold of current height. I think that's the way to go. To not overly restrict it while still trying to make sure that pretty much every time a set of platforms spawns, it should be in the player's view. Get player max height. And then I'll add like a. Well, I don't even want to add a new thing. I'll just do half of a platform, half of a chunk. So if this and also world get player current height. If the current height of the player is within a certain threshold, half a chunk size of the current height from the perspective of the platform spawner. So that is mathf absolute value of the subtraction of these is greater than what was the name of that thing? Oh yeah, chunk size. Half of the chunk size y. I should probably add some comments here. Only advance height if max within max player height. Only spawn platforms if within one, if within half a chunk of player current height. I mean, I could just look at the conditions and see what I'm doing, but who knows? I could drop this and need to come back in like 6 months. I'll be like, what am I doing here? Why am I taking an absolute value? Oh, the chickens are gonna get me before I resize the game window. No, this still isn't enough. Because like see, it's only, yeah, it needs to get up decently high to spawn the, all right, I did it. But I feel like it would work now. Let's see. Ooh, got double hit. I think it might need to follow the same rule. It's just, say it can't get more than half a chunk Y from the max. It's apply the same logic to both. Half chunk height is this. Okay. Copy the same absolute value, check here. Actually, I don't even need this. This just replaces this. These don't need to go together. Does that fix it? I think I might also need to let it spawn the first one. The first one is a bit of a special case. Alright, if I start the game, how you doing? Oh, I did it the wrong way. Less. Right? It can... If the distance between them is less than this, right? Not greater. Yeah, this is also less, I think. If it's if the distance is less than this thing. I don't like that it's not moving though. I feel like it should be. Yeah, it's still doing the thing I don't. Oops. Alright, what am I doing wrong here? Distance between these. I think maybe these checks weren't the same. If my height is less than the player's max height. Oh, this needs to be an or. Or, in which case we don't need the absolute value because the other signage is assumed. If the player's max height, which I should just get now since I'm getting it twice. Okay, so if you haven't advanced to the player's max, or you're within if you're less than or greater than by an amount less than or equal to half chunk height, I think. I don't need to consider the case where player max height is greater than current height because it'll short circuit this logic and it'll take the first case, right? Or wait, will it? If player max height is greater? Wait, no, this means yeah. If player max height is greater, it already wins the or, it gets to go. It doesn't have to check this second thing. Yeah. All right. It still might be the case that I need to what's the word? Allow it to have a special case. Oh no, cool, it goes. And look, this is exactly what I wanted. It advances, but stops. It doesn't get too far ahead of me. You can see it's like, it's going up as I rise. Oh man, I'm getting... And that next chunk only spawned when I could see it. Like, I could see the bottom of it. I should, as I rise up, I should always be able to see the next chunk spawn. Because it won't let it spawn unless I'm close enough to see it. Oh man, I fell down a lot. I kind of want to just start over. I want to give myself like plus 100 jump force. These jumps are like too close. Maybe that's one of the upgrades I can give. But yeah, this basically works, right? Every time here, there are no platforms. Well, that time I had to jump up into nothing. I don't know about that one. That might be too far. But yeah, the good thing about this is if I am going to make a nice like line drawing shader, see, why did it work all the way up to this point, but now I'm like getting troubles? Let's see. Oh, I guess if it's just I guess there's like a range of oh, whoops, I died. I think there's just a range of like heights that platforms can potentially spawn in. And I'm just not hitting it sometimes. If I get an like an uncommonly low previous and an uncommonly high next, the distance will just be too great. So we just need to reduce, or let's see, I guess increase this a little bit. So I'm gonna say chunk spawn window instead. I think just 0.6 could be good enough here, but we'll see if that's the case. I should be able to, hold on, see the scene view as well. Has like debug drawing and stuff. Well, now I feel like this is maybe too much, because I'm just barely seeing stuff spawn. Maybe we just need to split the difference, 0.55. But I mean, yeah. I'm seeing like the problem I called out in the beginning of like, see like these, I haven't turned off the animal stuff yet, but, you know, I was up there and I was still seeing it. Oh, I'm never gonna make that jump. Oh, tree. Oh no, chicken. Why? Yeah, I think it definitely was never too little there, but sometimes it was too much. If the part of the point of this is to be sure the nice spawning shader I spend time on is always on screen, and like the fact that some of those things were spawning off screen is not good. Maybe I need to reduce the variance a little here. I'm pretty sure this is already the place to do it. Min distance Y. Let's turn this down a little bit, maybe. And max distance Y. Turn this down a little bit as well. There. We should have tighter platforms, which should let us get away with going back to a half chunk window. Let's see. And hopefully it's not too tightly packed, but I don't know, sometimes I feel like some of these jumps I'm barely making. Yeah, this looks pretty good from always. Yeah, but see, doesn't have enough space now to spawn next. I have to do a little hop. What a bummer. I think I just need to keep tweaking a little bit. Slightly decrease this again. Decrease this a little bit further. What else? Oh, I guess I probably also want to slightly decrease the size of a chunk to correspond with these things. In which case, I will have already decreased this. I don't know, let's see if that's enough. Oh crap. But yeah, I think the cap is pretty much right. No, I'm seeing these things spawn. I just gotta keep going though to hit a decent number. Oh, this is very unfortunate spawning. But yeah, I gotta keep going to see if I can hit an edge case. Or like, you know, these are just random numbers, so... Oh, you chicken bastard. Oh, I just wanna, I feel... I'm annoyed at that chicken. I'm starting over. That's definitely something to fine-tune the platform spawning stuff. I don't know if I like the idea of the left-right layout type thing, but I feel like maybe sometimes it should have a single in the middle. It also just might be a matter of needing additional platform types, more variety. My trap? No, that had it. I wonder if I barely made that jump, if it would have been enough. Try and barely make these jumps. Oh, the line baited me. I thought there was a little clip there. Yeah, that one, pretty sure it needed the hop. Yeah, see, you're now trapped unless we hop, which we don't want. We don't want that to ever happen. So we really just got to eke this up, because again, like, actually, you know what we do? Keep compressing the chunk a little bit. And then just barely eke this up. And hopefully that's hitting the sweet spot we're looking for, where we always see things spawn, but we never get to a point where the spawn, that's the initial spawn stuff. I mean, this initial platform positioning stuff needs a look. I think I am gonna have it like crumble away. Oh, that's good. I think I'm just gonna have it crumble away as the thing rises up. Alright, good. That was a minimal jump. It was to like even the alcove. Same here. I think we are good. That I did not properly test. I jumped up too high. I mean, but at the point where I'm purposefully trying to hit it, I'm not. I think that's... Oh, chicken, you couldn't damage boost me one time. Oh, I'm gonna have to go around to the left. Trees in my way. See, this would feel much more urgent though if there was something chasing me. Chicken. Alright, do one last check. Alright, yeah, that one, I feel like it wouldn't have gone. I shouldn't have hopped off to the right. Yeah, see, oh, that one as well. I had to do that little hop. If I sneak over here, getting as well. I feel like this is increasing over time. Could that be? That could be a bug rather than a number tweaking thing. me see if that's the case. If it happens more, I'm gonna run out of life. I should give myself like 1,000,000 lives. Yeah, see, this is even on the high ground, and now I'm not hitting it. I wonder if maybe some number is off from another number that is leading me to. Let me look at my debug drawing. That is leading. Yes, that is. Well, I think so. We're seeing stuff spawn outside of its expected chunk bounds, I feel like. Why is that? I think maybe there's an assumption somewhere around this chunk size. Why? Maybe this padding Y isn't being. Alright, stop making noise. Maybe this padding Y isn't being correctly applied. Half chunk height, half chunk height. What is Y offset? It just gets passed in. Next spawn height plus half spawn height. Next spawn height is. I'm not sure how this is becoming disconnected. It seems like it definitely is, though. Because am I using chunk spawn window for something I shouldn't? No. Delta height changing by anything? No. Let me take a closer look at that. Are they more clearly within the debug draw bounds at the lower levels? It's definitely hitting the analysis window stuff sooner. Alright, it's good enough, probably. Oh, I hit play rather than pause. I just want to spawn like 4 or 5 batches of platforms here. I'm not gonna make it around this edge. Damn it. Alright, let me get one more and I have enough. No. I mean, here it's contained, but like as soon as here, it's already not. Because I think it's... I'm suspicious of this. I wonder... Let me take a look at the good old version control. Because I just think there's some assumption or disconnection here that I'm missing. I made so many changes, it's going to be hard to see. Or no, I need platform spawner. It should be more limited. Okay. So we have the world. We changed these values. I wonder if these values might have been based on something and not just like, free to change whenever you feel like. Oh, you know what? Yeah, this is wrong on its space, right? Or no, I guess this could go up to 12.9. But yeah, actually, yeah, with padding, basically what I've done here is these are like an impossible combination of values where the max, the min and max no longer guarantee that it falls within the chunk. Like I think to keep the min and max values happy, which I've changed, um, it is sprawling out of the chunk height. And that makes perfect sense because this min and max is based on the previous height of the spawn platforms. So if it were to say creep up each time, say like, you need to be at least 5 away, but there's only 4 in this platform, it'll creep up into the next one, and then the new sort of min value that it's checking against isn't the ground, it's the ground plus 1. So that'll just creep up over and over time, which is why that's the behavior I was seeing. Okay, so good example of the magic of version control again. Huge fan of version control. Use version control. Commit aggressively. Look at that. How long would this have taken to fix or find potentially? Potentially a while. Who knows if you like just have a big pile of changes and you got to go looking through all your scripts, but I just have a nice little highlighted, here's everything you changed and what it used to be. And finding bugs in this is so much easier. Anyway, let's fix those values. It'd be funny if I talked that big game and then that isn't actually the bug. I don't think that's happened yet. But gotta be careful. Alright, so it has some padding of up to 0.3, and that's half of this, so let's say 14. So that'd be 2.1. So in the worst case, the max distance would be 12.9 plus 2.1. That's 15, so that doesn't fit. I think we do want a chunk size of 16 still. All right, let's see if that gets rid of the bug. Okay, so I'm gonna make this bigger. I'm gonna also restart so I have more lives. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give myself like 1,000,000 lives. What am I having? If I waste 2 seconds from only having 20 lives, like what am I doing? Okay, animator. I believe it begins with HEA. Now I'm wasting like 2 seconds trying to find this component. Oh, there it is. I'll need the scene view in a second, but I don't need it yet. I need to spawn a bunch of stuff first. Oh no! Oh dude, I just like cannot jump. What's happening? Oh, I'm gonna jump off. I gotta get out of that funk. Alright. We're going to the right, we're good there. We got a visual spawn. Play chicken. The chicken. That I feel like I had to go up pretty high. Didn't like that. And now it feels like I have not gotten it. Is that because of a drift still? Got this. This looks good. This already doesn't look good. Yeah, I think I need to revert those other values as well. I need to revert, I think the min maybe? I made the min smaller. I don't see at least 5.5. Yeah, let's fully revert. We can tweak from here in the future if this seems to fix it, but let's check. It might be something else. It could be the case where I got it wrong. Definitely feels like I still need to get higher and higher each time. Up to that point where it's like pretty stuck. All right. So let's watch this go up. I mean, this already should be in like the next chunk. It's possible this has been a long-standing bug and I just didn't have any dependencies on like chunk identity up to this point. Can barely make this jump, and especially not. Oh, there we go. But yeah, see, these platforms should be higher up. It should be this batch. Let me watch this happen bit by bit. I think it might be something with the starting as well, potentially. Okay, so it's up to there. And it hasn't drawn like there's the next chunk. Oh, I'm always seeing the previous chunk. Wait a second. Is that why? What's going on with that? What if I get rid of this? Say... Is it this min-max clamping that's causing problems? That's what I thought it was, but even reverted to previous values, I'm still seeing it happen. But that being said, I never double checked this. I think that seems right. And it'll only draw the previous. Oh no. I should like give myself invincibility or something. It's like the equivalent of, I mean, I gave myself 999 lives, but I still get like knocked off my path and stuff. This jump is ridiculous. That's why I changed the mint. Oh wait, this is, I see. This is what just, well no. Yeah, see, it's already off. So maybe it's not that. Or I wonder if maybe I decoupled a part of it that isn't supposed to be decoupled. I think the very minimum I need to do here is draw one more chunk, draw the current chunk as well, so I can visualize it. Well, hmm. I want this plus what? Chunk height? Yeah, chunk size Y. There. I should draw one more now. Oops, fell off. I'm looking at the scene view. So the second it crosses the blue, I would expect new things to spawn. Up. Yep. So that looked good so far, but I need to see, without applying the maxes though, some of these jumps feel impossible. It might just mean increasing the chunk size. I need to just rise up a bit and see if I see drift without applying these maxes. If I no longer see drift, then I know I have to fix the maxes. If I continue to see drift, then I need to look elsewhere for the bug. Just damage boosting my way through. Problem with damage boosting, it's not super consistent. Sometimes it knocks you down. I just need to climb for a bunch here though. And when I've gotten up high enough, I can check, oh crap. I get up high enough, I can check the extent to which it's lining up with the expected chunk boundaries. You know, and the extent to which it drifts. Alright, I'll get up on that next one and then I'll check. I don't know if I can without damage boost. Yeah, this might be an impossible jump. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, so this looks like it has not drifted at all, right? You got blue, you got a thing in the middle, you got things. So, I guess to recap, blue represents the chunk bounds, red represents just halfway between the chunk bounds, since it's being like kind of split up into 4 quadrants to consider platform spawning. So going down, what do you see? You see pairs of platforms always being contained within their chunk. And also you even see the sort of midpoint quadrant bisect always what's the word? Always sort of having the platforms on either side of it. So that means this min is wrong. So why is it wrong? It's partially because I think, okay, so the greatest padding there can be is 0.3 of y. So this means it won't spawn at the very bottom or very top of a thing. So for starters, I think we can turn this down, because it's eating up real estate that we want our min and max to like use. So anyway, we have a 0.2, which means for this chunk size of 16, 0.2 is divided by 5, so it's like 3.2. We have 3.2 units of space we are not allowed to use, so that puts us down to 12.8 remaining units of space. And if we hit our max distance twice in a row, that's 14.5. It makes sense that this doesn't work. And it would have been even more significant before when, what's the word? when that was 0.3 instead of 0.2, it would that'd be a bigger number. So somewhere in like 11-ish instead of 12. So this needs to be smaller. And this probably also needs to be smaller. But I guess the problem with reducing this is eventually you might get like squished. But it's really more about this. So does this, all right, so that can still be up to 13, so that doesn't work. So I think we need to go all the way down to 6. There, we had 12 and change. Now the maximum distance is 12. I think that should be good if I understand correctly, but it's very possible I do not understand correctly, you know. Oh wait, we need to re-enable our max min application. Uncomment that, and grab this back. All right, the debug plan is pretty similar here. We just keep jumping up and up. And then when we have a large amount of platforms spawn, we can go back and look and see if we are drifting from our chunk boundaries over time. That, it looks, oh my god, killing me game. Should probably get temporary invulnerability so you can't get like blasted by like 3 guys at the same time. Alright, this does not spawn our thing, which probably means we're bugged. And yeah, we are. Oh, I think this is the other issue actually. Oh, I get it. I overcorrected basically. We can make this problem in both directions. If the min is too small, you can lose height over time. So can I even do this? Because let me take a look at how this is applied. Clamp platform Y position. It gets skipped for the first row, but beyond the first row, it makes sure the delta Y falls within this clamp. And spawns previous chunk Y? What is that? Oh, it's I guess it's supposed to be the high point of What about this? I think this might be the problem. The logic is meant to apply here like between chunks, but it would be enforced within chunks, if I understand correctly. So what if we add a Boolean to our spawn chunk row here? Enforce clamp. And the enforce clamp. If you do the clamp, else just return Y. Tertiary operator gang. Same deal here. Be enforce clamp. Otherwise just left Y. Okay, and then bottom quadrant, we want to enforce it because it'll be looking back at the previous chunk, but the top quadrant we don't because we're still in the context of our chunk. And I think by not enforcing it within the context of a, because this applying half the chunk height is already offsetting within a chunk enough. It's the concern is from one chunk to another that it just rolls the lowest possible and the highest possible, and you can't make the jump anymore. That's what the clamping was intended for. So now it'll only be applied between chunks and not within chunks, which I think should fix the problem. I don't know, find out. It also seems possible. Ooh, that's the type of thing I want to avoid. You hate to see it. Maybe I need to enforce the min within a chunk and a max between chunks. That makes sense to me, right? Because the min prevents that squish sandwich from happening, and the max is what I was just previously talking about. So instead of enforce clamp, we say the clamp to min. This is, I need to change this. The spawn chunk row, I can't just not clamp because I need a minimum. E to E, I don't know, what like require min, I guess. The minimum distance, maybe. And then also here, and then we're not clamping anymore. What we're doing instead is if it's a minimum, we max it. Else we're gonna min it. And I'm gonna bump this down to the next line. Max. All right. So what is this saying? This is saying if we're in the minimum case, give me the bigger of whatever the previous value was and your minimum value. So whichever one is bigger. So if it's smaller than the min, you get the min. And the reverse here. If it's smaller than the max, you get the max. Or if it's bigger than the min, you get the min. Wait, is this right? No. I actually want this. It's a good thing I rubber ducked that out loud because I had it backwards. Okay, so instead of having it be like a proxy, I'm just gonna say the bottom row. So, but this actually reverses this. I'll just do this instead. So the bottom row has a max distance from the previous, and the top row has a minimum distance from the previous. Get rid of this tertiary. Makes me sad, you know, we're tertiary gang, but gotta make it do it. It's actually supposed to do. I'm sure there'll be plenty of future opportunities to use tertiary. Come on, I didn't want to debug. Stop it. Cool. All right, now bottom, top, cool. Slightly increases. Okay, that looks like a good distance. That distance looks kind of far, but doable. I mean, I guess that's the point of it. Kind of far, but doable. I might need to tweak the values now, and now that this like works, I can tweak the values again, I think. Too tall, too far. Way too far. Is it off? I think something might be wrong. That looks too far if I am intending to apply these maxes. Let's review. Not this. I need Y stuff. Okay. Min, max. So if you're the bottom row. No, I did have it. When I flipped it around, it became wrong again, I think. Whatever is smaller. The max distance should only kick in if it's smaller than whatever you put in, and vice versa. Rubber ducky led me astray. I guess I led myself astray, right? Yeah, double checking. So if I'm on the bottom row, give me the smaller of whatever the distance would be or the maximum. So only give me the maximum if it would be the smaller number. If I'm on the top row, give me the maximum, so whichever is bigger, of what the number would be, or the minimum. So the minimum is only applied if it's bigger than the delta. This makes sense to me. Let's head back in the game, see if it fixes our bug. And once this is fixed, we should be free to play with the... That's the minimum? Maybe too big? I think I might need to tweak the values now. Maybe I do need a max. Because that was within a chunk. And it just rolled too big. Maybe I need two different bounds? I think so. I think that's what it is. Maybe, no. Yeah, I don't see what the... Yeah, it's just too big. How do I... What's the problem here? Why isn't the clamp correct? Because I guess I thought I only cared about... I thought I only cared about the distance. It turns out I care about both distances. But unless it perfectly all right, I think what needs to happen. I think this is correct-ish, but I need the chunk bounds to basically to enforce the internal max. So if I do this like 12 and like 5, well, now it's not even times 2 anymore. This is only applied between. So should be fine. Yeah, this really... Is that from the chunk bounds pretty much? Yeah, see, it's within the chunk bounds. it's still too tight. Well, these values aren't good for probably like long-term game stuff, but let's just advance up and see if it fixes the drift problem. Because I'm pretty sure the problem is like fundamentally in the min and the max, where I presented it with like an impossible task. Basically like a numerically impossible setup, where like always overriding to those mins and maxes meant it just can't fit within the chunks it's supposed to fit in. And I am probably pretty trapped because it's a sandwich. But let's take a look. Yeah, this one goes pretty far down, but I think it still is fundamentally within the bounds. So maybe just meet the difference a little bit. Yeah, I guess I don't. I think this is fine. Well, I don't know. Let's see if there's an implicit stretching out of the chunk that might be enough to desandwich it. Because the padding should also function as a minimum. Yeah, this seems more reasonable now. Oh no! I think this is the play. Where you enforce a min between chunks to prevent sandwiches, and then padding plus normal chunk boundaries should be enough to prevent sandwiches within the context of a chunk. And because it is not clumping to, in edge cases, impossible boundaries that would lead to... Oh, why is my grounded messed up? That's something to look at. That has nothing to do with this game. That's all like really common, really old code. Well, I probably have enough platforms to look at now. Okay, it's in the middle, splitting the difference. Yeah, now we are... Is that drifting? Is this too tall? I think this is just the high roll because the base of the platform is not the up, it's the below, which would still be in bounds. Same deal here. The upper lip doesn't count. In general, I mean, I think it looks good, but I don't think I've climbed up high enough to notice drift if it's still here. Because it could be the case that I just reduced the drift. Oh, come on. There you go. No. This jump might be impossible. Well, I guess I can always go over to the left. Well, if these trees ever let me through. Which it seems like they never ever will. I'd have to get incredibly lucky to ever be allowed through this pass. Oh? I'm making it. Yeah, Oh, you're killing me. I see these jumps are just a little bit too much, but if I decrease them further... Oh, you're killing the game. Alright. Let's Still, I mean, I got at least 2 more batches of platforms here and still no evidence of remaining drift. But I still think I should probably apply a tiny min between platforms. I think, yeah, I don't know, let's see what that, if I say min inter chunk platform distance y versus min or between. I was gonna do inter and intra, but like, let's just use straightforward words. So this can be smaller, like pretty small. I think this, like even something as small as this is fine. And then we can eke this up while eking this down maybe. And then here we go back to clamping. Min, or wait, no. Wait. What did I rename? Min within chunk platform and within and between. So bottom row is between. So that's the clamp. Between chunk platform distance y. That's a long variable name. But I know exactly what it's for. Does that help? I think it might. I think another thing here is I could probably increase the oh, you're killing me, tree. I'll just go around. I could probably increase the speed of the line since the line is now bounded by the player. Is this even possible? Yeah, we're good. I gotta take a closer. Oh, this seems. This doesn't seem right. Let's take a look at if this is inter or intra. This is between. So the bottom row here, it's min max, right? In a clamp. Yeah. Okay. This 3 is not 4? I guess. Maybe something like this. I mean, do they need different values? Yeah, because, I guess let me take a look here. What is the actual distance between these things? And what would it need to be for this to not bother me? We have this random platform here is at 5185, and this is at 56.5. I think I would be happy if it were about here as a minimum. That's 57.85. So 51, 57. That's a difference of 6. Is 6 really the min? I think it's kind of messed up by these upper lip guys. Because it's misleading how much this distance is. I think if I... What if I put this down to 56? Is that good enough? 56.85? Yeah, I mean, it's still cramped here, but no, I'm gonna have to review this anyway. Between chunk, within chunk. So this actually needs to be bigger? I think something like this. And this can be like that, perhaps. Let's see. So much fiddling with numbers. This looks good so far. This is pretty high, probably too high. Yeah, I can't make this. This. I guess like the problem I'm facing here is like I think truly the player just needs more jump speed. I think that's my conclusion from this. And then I can tolerate these larger jump distances. So I need more space to spawn these things and have like different potential. Give the player 7/6. What is that? Some like 15% more jump speed. Definitely feel hoppier. Oh, this feels a lot better. Oh my god, chickens, you're killing me. Trees. Maybe I gotta rethink trees. Definitely like being hoppier. Just feels better to play with. All those times I was like barely making jumps typically didn't feel super awesome. It seemed like it kind of took a while to spawn, so maybe it can... Now that I have the jump speed, I can increase... Oh my god, you're killing me, chickens. Too many chickens. This would be like the end. Yeah, see, this is a tough case because this goes down -1 and this goes up +1. So like, am I really gonna increase the minimum distance for everything because of this? I wonder if it's maybe possible to encode that on the platform somehow. This would be impossible before for sure, and it still feels kind of impossible now. An extra, as I scummed on the edge. I'm gonna take a look at that when I go back and look through the scene view. See if I'm drifting or that just is at the max. Still seeing things spawn as I see them pretty much. I'm not seeing that. Alright, that's probably enough. What am I at? 180? That's pretty high. Alright. This was the really hard jump. Again, because it's because I'm not... It's the opposite problem. So, yeah. I do need clamps in both directions, but I just need to maybe fine-tune them a bit. Because in this case, what is this? It's like the greatest possible distance, 122, 111, so 11 apart, like, as obviously without the spawn distance. But yeah, I'm gonna say max between chunk. And same deal, max within chunk. But within chunk can be pretty big. Max within. But now that I'm applying the clamps in both directions, it is possible for me to enter a broken combination of values that the algorithm can't possibly meet that will reintroduce drift. But I feel like I just gotta try it out. That distance was not great enough. Now I have more jump, I have more space to work with. So I'm gonna re-expand to that, I think. Max between, min between. This should go the other way, I think. Alright, let's try those values. Hopefully the 6 to 9, or it's even higher, it's like 5 to 9 will give it enough flexibility there. That way it's not impossible. I don't know, let's see. Falling rats. Chickens. I think I want the flying guys to eventually be like localized to 1 point. Maybe I'll like draw a little nest or something. But I don't think just always spawning is ever going to be the play here. And there should be a warning before it does like a wave of them. It seems like I need to get pretty high up to spawn. I might have reintroduced drift. Yeah, that did not look good. Let's do the minimum jump. It worked there, but... worked there. I'll be able to tell in the scene view. I'm just gonna keep getting up as high as I can. Maybe around 200 would be good. I think it might be a false flag on, or a false positive on some of these bugs. Just related to a thing I said earlier around the line speed. Oh, the camera can't even follow me. This is as high as I can go. I put a random arbitrary bounding box on the camera and I've hit the top of it. Alright, let's see if I introduce drift. Alright, from the top down we have, yes, definitely drift. No other way to say it. This top platform should be above the red line, and this platform should be above the blue line. So this is drift in the negative direction, meaning it ran into a problem enforcing minimum distances. So let's see if I can see where that start to happen. Yeah, see it's creeping down. Or I know, that means maximum distances, right? I think I just need to give this more space. I think it was related to upping it to 16 without upping the max. Basically, I should really figure it out so I can just check it as a static assert. And it just won't compile if I have a wrong combination of numbers. But basically, these numbers have requirements on the chunk size. If the chunk size and these min and maxes are not in a good alignment, I will get drift. For sure. So let's climb back up to 200. What if I want to have like an edge grab thing? When I'm on those corners, it feels really bad. We're still within chunk bounds, looking at the scene view to the left there. Ah, dang you, chickens. Ah, double combo. Killing me. I'm seeing sometimes a weird interaction where my double jump gets killed, basically. If I am hit, like out of a double yeah, my, there you go, that shows it. Out of getting, after you just get hit, your double jump is a little bit messed up. I think it might have to do with the velocity correction. Anyway, let's see if we fix drift. It looks like maybe not. It's in it. This is just a -2, so that's fine. The center of it is in where it's supposed to be. Yeah, it looks all the way up to 200. We stay within our chunk bounds. Cool. Yeah, so where am I at on my stuff? This I did. Okay. This seems unlikely we're gonna get to. And this is a maybe, but these two are definitely doable. So let's add that. I think here in animal spawn box, would I say animal spawn box first? Yeah, the bigger problem is the rats. Technically, the plant spawning should also be turned off, just for efficiency reasons. But the actual gameplay implications come from the animals. So our animal spawn box here shouldn't have to care, I don't think. I think it should go to its animal manager and get the answer from that. This is already like functionally a singleton. This does not need to be in here, right? It looks like I copied and like reworked stuff out of this and did not get rid of it. There, now it's gone. So this is just a static list, but I still think it's nice to have this as a single point of communication. Like I don't want every animal spawn box to have to care about the what's it called? About the like player. But since they're already talking to this single manager anyway, this single manager can also take the responsibility to tell them whether or not they should even bother. So it might be a little wonky with the static stuff. It's a static dictionary. And then I would also need the reference to the world manager to be static. I wonder if there's a straightforward way to do that. What is the world? Tell me about yourself, world manager. Is there anything I can index on to find the world manager easily? It is untagged and is on the default layer. Not that useful. This animal manager has to exist on something, right? Yeah, okay, on spawn manager. I guess I could take a dependency on the parent thing here, where right now I have spawn manager as a child of the world manager. That probably makes sense. And then I can do something like get component in parent world manager. And I can do a same like kind of lazy thing here. private static world manager s world equals null initially. If s worlds is null, s world is this. And let's assert, just because that's like a, it's making some assumptions about how the game logic is laid out. And if I ever break the assumptions, I want it to tell me. I want it to point me right here and say, hey, your code's not going to work anymore. There. Do I not know how to spell assert? Oh, I need to do a thing like is true. Sure. Or is there a is not null? That would be the best. Yep. Okay. So now we have our worlds. Now we need a helper function like get animal data. Be something like public static bool allowed to spawn, or within spawn distance, let's say. And we can have a single spawn distance here. Private static const float. Is constant a thing? Am I dumb? Why is it? Oh, private const static float? Static. Oh, sure. S spawn max spawn distance. I don't know, 10. Can it not be static? So the plant spawn boxes, when they would get information from this global manager, they can pass it their position and say like, hey, am I within this distance? And I should use square distances probably, right? So it's more efficient. Because doing all these distance calculations won't actually be efficient. But I bet doing subtractions will be if I just put that. What I care about is pos y. So just return pos y. I guess s worlds get player current height minus pos y. Get the absolute value of that is the y distance. Abs, or just delta y is fine. So, and then it's just if delta y is less than or equal to the max spawn distance, there. Just has to do with subtraction, shouldn't be expensive, even though there are lots of animal spawn boxes. And it's definitely cheaper than instantiating a prefab. So now let's head back over to our animal spawn box. Now here, when we would spawn, what is calling you spawn? Uh-oh. I'm not sure what's calling it. Something else calling it? Oh, there's a spawn box base. Its base class is calling it. Spawn imp. Alright, this is just like actually taking care of the boilerplate around prefabs and stuff. This is where I would probably want to put the check, but I don't think I can. Because I don't know what kind of spawning thing I am. So I would put it here, which is still an early out. Uh, it's fine. So when I would be told to spawn, I check if animal manager within spawn distance, transform dot position dot y. Or I guess if not within spawn distance, early out. If too far, early out. And thinking about it, 10 is probably too strict. Let's up it to this multi-spawn delay, not used anymore. Get out of here. I think none of this is used anymore. Screen edge X. Nope. Spawn values. Nope. All right, get out of here, all of you. Okay, except you. Should be, let's say 15. All right, so what do we hope to see here? We would hope to see that as we ascend to decently high highs, or if we fell significantly down, those spawn boxes that are significantly off screen are no longer spawning. And no adverse effects to normal spawning, of course. Okay, so rat up there is able to spawn. Oh, you know what? Just 'cause I'm thinking about it right now, I'm turning up the speed thing. That makes me think there's a bug. Height increase 10. I mean, go twice as fast because it's being capped. Oh, damn you, tree. I could have gone around to the left with my new larger jump. Oh, not if I'm getting killed by chickens. What am I testing again? Oh, right, the spawn boxes that are significantly off screen should not spawn anymore, or at least for animals. So I will need to get some vertical. I will need to earn up some height here to have. Oh, you're killing me. Chickens. I have plenty of jump height. I'm just bad. I think there needs to be. There is a thing set up in my platform controller where if you hold the jump, you can go slightly higher, but I think it might be too significant right now. I see, like, I guess that's what lets you do little hops like that. But maybe the multiplier is too significant. I don't know. Either way, we're climbing. That's a little bit too close, but it's not enough of a problem to go around and do another round of tweaking stuff. All right. So down here, do we see stuff spawning? Nope. So all the stuff that we've gotten far away from is pretty much stopped spawning. And even this up here, we're not getting rats from up here that are like spawning down from off screen because it's too far up. And I bet we would want to see now if I jump down to the bottom. The top places should stop and the bottom places should resume. The fact that I just got a rat there is pretty promising, but I want to go all the way down. Alright, now let's see. The stuff around us is spawning. I think I was seeing some stuff from the sky. That might just be a delay. Yeah. So, see this one right out of camera is turned off. This one is turned back on. Alright, we have our lazy animal spawning set up. Great stuff. Let's just also apply that to plants now. Pop, 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 pop. So same idea, right? In fact, I'm gonna copy pasta from Animal Manager. We need basically this exact same thing, which makes me think about base class potential, maybe. You know, I love that base class. Although for the case of the plant, I think the max spawn distance can be maybe slightly great. What does that get me? Yeah, I guess it makes it's less annoying. I don't know. I'll make it slightly different. But this is all the same. And we need from Animal Manager the same like checking it and setting it. Yeah, we get it in the beginning. Plant Manager, awake, get your thing. Anything else you need to do? Oh, we need to go to the plant spawn box and add that same check from animal spawn box. Plant. Did I not name it that? Are you sure? Oh, platform. Whoops. IntelliSense. I'm gonna be too smart. I also just like can't type. I remember I like actually made a conscious decision. It was like sometime late in high school or maybe sometime in college where I'm like, I just don't care about typing correctly. My new definition of whether something is spelled correctly is if it's spelled correct enough for the listener to know what I mean, or the reader, I guess. Doesn't work so well when I'm coding, and I'm making typos all the time. The compiler has to know exactly what I mean. Knowing roughly what I mean is not good enough for the compiler. Wait, did I make that smaller? I wanted to make that bigger. Plant manager, because I'm seeing as I rise up, I would kind of like plants to already be there, and they're not. So let's turn this up a bit. So we should see as we rise up, if we get too far from us, too far from our position, if we look in the scene view, we should see stuff stop spawning. And we should see plants able to spawn at a slightly... is this right? Oh yeah, I got trees. Yeah, so I just need to ascend a bunch here. Oops, my mouse too much. And then when I get up to, I don't know, like 120s or something, I'd like to be able to look down a bunch. And got the side jump. I'd like to be able to look down a bunch and then also jump down and see the sort of the spawn anchor change. Alright, we're at 140. This should be enough. So, yeah, if you look down, complete death. Stuff can still fall down from the spawn zone, but anything not in, like, kind of near me doesn't have stuff. And this stuff, just a little bit out, still does. And then if I... Alright, so we just have to make sure it updates properly. We do a dive bomb here. Okay, well, stuff is already spawning now that we're back down here. And it looks like for the most part... I saw something there, but I guess it just died. Yeah, it won't kill things that are already spawning. It just won't let new things spawn. Yeah, and here we see something just out of view because we have the slightly higher plant distance. I believe this is a rat as well, so this real... Oh, well, yeah, it shows it. From here, does it spawn plants only? Or does it spawn nothing? I feel like it... Maybe this distance is greater than 5. Alright, there are plants spawn. Are animals spawning yet? Yeah, so I'm looking at this platform specifically. And yeah, I observe when I'm in this little cubby, it's close enough that plants can still spawn, but rats can't spawn. Then if I go up a little bit higher, I bet I should, yep, I see rats start to spawn. Great. Our lazy spawning. Hello, Jeever. But yeah, it looks like our lazy spawning is working. We're not seeing spawning too far from any of our player height, which is both efficient and when it comes to enemies just like randomly falling on you from the sky, it's it just feels better. All right. So, yeah, we're not going to have time to this. This is actually a pretty big thing. But this, I think we can do. The thing that's chasing you and encouraging you to kind of like not, you know, take your time. So we just need to add, I think there's already a death box. We're just gonna have to scale it or move it up. Yep, death box. It's already a zillion billion feet wide or whatever. Wait, why is this allowed to be one? How does this happen? Oh, is it all in the collider? Yeah, 200 wide. Let's make sure. And then we just need to, I kind of want to draw a sprite on this. We'll have something nicer in the future, but let's just have a red box for now so we know where it is. For square. Where are you? I don't see you. Oh, yeah, because it's not in the actual sprite. 20 is fine. And let's change this color to red and just give it some alpha so you can see through it. Okay. I think I can just deal with this in World Manager. Private game objects, death box. And this goes up no matter what. I don't care. But it should go up pretty slow. I don't know, I'll just put in a number. What is... Yeah, I don't know. Let's just hook it up and see. So it'll be something like private float death box rise speed. Seems good. I don't know. 1.0 f. And maybe we'll add some acceleration as well. So it gets faster over time. But this should be really small. Maybe even smaller than that, like 0.001. It'll add up quickly. Well, let's see. Let's just see. So private void advanced death box. And just because we hit, oh, come on, tell sense. Because we hit problems like this in the past, let's also store our initial speed just in case we need it for something. So we'll make private float death box start rise speed. Should be a const, and I name it K. And I know how to spell const. We'll do this at 1, then we set this to this. Advanced death box. Needs to take death box rise speed. I'm gonna need DT. Or I don't think I need to pass it. I think I just get it, right? I guess not. Does it pass the update? Oh, the compiler isn't. IntelliSense isn't happy. It's mad that I yelled at it earlier. All right, Deathbox rise speed equals m death box rise acceleration times time delta time, and then m death box transform position y plus equals the rise speed times time delta time. Is not a very you're so annoying. All right. Old pos. Then we can get a new pos. Old new vector 2. Old pos.x. Old pos.y plus this amount. And then I can just say new pos. And hopefully you'll be fine with the fact that it's a vector 2. Yeah, I'll just do z equals 0. Okay, let's see how fast that is. Can we outrun that? I think if we can outrun it up to, I don't even see it. Is it moving? I don't think I'm advanced. I didn't call this function I wrote. Update player right, advanced death box, set debug text. Yeah, I have to actually call the function I wrote. That does help. It helps things do the thing you did. Uh-oh. Oh, I never set up the link. Let's do that now. World Manager. Here, it just called deathbox, so I can just search for it. Great stuff. Save. Let's go. All right. It's not moving before we start, which is good. It's weird that it... Is it moving? I don't think so. It is definitely not moving. What have I done wrong? World Manager, Advanced Deathbox. Oops, not this. I mean, I don't actually understand why that would be a problem. Y plus rise speed times time delta time. Oh, I need the plus equals the acceleration. I was setting it to the acceleration, which is like a fractional amount, because I don't want it to snowball too hard over time. I want it to be like a very mild increase over time. Okay. Yeah, that it's definitely going up. Let's see if I'm just like not paying attention to it. I'm just trying to rise up the height if it catches me. Now I'm going pretty quick. I was gonna say like I should fall on purpose, but I don't need to fall on purpose. I'm sure there's gonna be a impossible set of chickens to get past at some point. Yeah, see, I'm already getting knocked down. Then when you get knocked down, it lets the chickens build up. Oh god. But I'm not even, despite getting significantly stalled here. Oops. It has not caught up with me. So yeah, oh, it's catching up. Uh-oh. Okay. Oh no. This is a bad example. Alright, this is, I think, lower starting speed, and the acceleration is probably fine. Maybe even slightly smaller. Because it was catching up on me at the end there. I mean, it did get stuck for a while, but I hadn't even close to made it to 200. And I don't think 200 would even be like anywhere close to the top anyway. So it only takes me like what, like a minute to get up to 200? Oh god. It's a big jump. I think some of these platforms as well, I said it before, but some of these would definitely, when I add a concept of difficulty to platforms, whereas harder platforms can only spawn when you're so high up, some of these would be higher up. Ah, rat, you're killing me. Oh man. Is there any... Keep getting bad luck on where it... I made it through, alright. That was a pretty significant delay, and I'm not seeing the red line catch up on me yet. But, you know, we understand the way acceleration works. It will certainly catch me eventually, especially considering I can only go up 200. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how, like, okay, not perfect, but pretty good. A few moderate mistakes slowing me down. How close does that get it? And then I can tweak the acceleration based on that. Oops. Uh-oh. Well, I guess some minor mistakes. It catches me right at the very end. Maybe that's good. I think maybe we just turn it down a tiny bit. Considering, you know, in other games I made, you always gotta apply the "you made the game" nerf, where you were probably the best person at playing this game in the world, especially for small indie games like this. Like maybe, I don't know, the best game, maybe like a few thousand people will play. You're probably the best person in the world playing that game. So you should tune the difficulty a bit down, I think, to account for that. But yeah, I think Rising Deathbox, we crossed that off. We did it. And we're looking at what? About 2.5 hours of stream now. So I'm probably gonna call it here. Thanks for tuning in. If you did, you can check me out on Twitter, YouTube, stuff like that. I will be streaming this weekend, but I won't be streaming Peaceful Night anymore. Well, I'm gonna be taking a break because I'm gonna do the itch.io mini game jam. I forget what number it is, but some mini game jam number. It's 72 hours. I got off Friday for Memorial Day, so I got the time to just like really focus on it for just a weekend. Seems like it'd be a fun thing to do. Also, I think it'd be interesting that like I haven't done a game jam in a while, and there's definitely something about just like the force function of a game jam, you know, where like you only have 72 hours. You gotta go, go, go. You gotta get stuff done. Whereas with like these regular streams I've been doing with Peaceful Knife, it's more like a marathon consistency. I'm saying, all right, no matter what, I'm doing like 2 or 3 hours a week. That's great. It's good to have that, but at the same time, like, I think I should practice doing a bit longer sessions, doing a bit more concentrated work, because you know, I'm making a dead simple little platformer here, and progress is still decently slow at 3 hours a week. So yeah, just gonna do mini game jam this weekend. So a couple streams Friday, Saturday, maybe some Sunday as well. Just end to end making a game 72 hours this weekend. And then next week, next Tuesday, I probably will do a stream in the normal game dev time. I'll just play through other people's jams from that game jam so I can rate them and stuff. And then next Saturday, I think I'll be back to Peaceful Night. So yeah, tune in for that game jam if that sounds interesting. If not, we'll be back to getting closer and closer to turning this into a full real game in like a week or two. All right, so thanks for tuning in. Have a good night. Follow me on social stuff like subscribe, whatever, you know, all those things. And see ya.